I think Petra, if I'm not wrong.
Petra. Okay.
Yes.
Good afternoon or good evening, everyone. We are very glad that you guys are able to join us this afternoon. We're going to have what I call it multicultural cocktail kind of a mix, exciting mix of people. We are from Croatia, from India, from the Arab world. And yes, we are using technology to clear borders away that we are able to meet at the click of a finger. But anyway, thank you so much. This afternoon, we are able to meet to talk about innovation and personalizing your career, presented by Talents of Endearment, a program of Identity Branding Forum. And we brag ourselves to say this is for heroes and big achievers, because this is what the program is about. I would like to have the honor to thank RIT Croatia for giving us the opportunity to meet with its fine students for the second time with a few of them. And Dr. Nabil Al-Qadi, our fine moderator, and also my colleague, Mr. Gautam Gupta. We are all here in order to have a dialogue, a discussion, an open discussion in terms of some of the challenges and a new innovation that will help us transform students from from a mere dreamer, thinking where the dreams may or may not happen, that could possibly and verifiably able to make it happen. And I would like to have, I just picked up a brief on terms of Croatia. And it's classified by the World Bank as a high income economy and ranks very high on the Human Development Index. And Petra, correct us if there is any discrepancy in the information. The economy is dominated by services and industrial sectors and agriculture. Tourism is a significant source of revenue, with Croatia ranked among 20th most popular tourist destinations in the world. Very impressive. And the state controls a part of the economy with a substantial government expenditure. The European Union is Croatia's most important trading partner. Croatia provides social security, universal health care, and tuition-free primary and secondary education, while supporting culture through numerous public institutions and corporate investments in media and publishing. Very impressive. Now, population, this is where I find it a little bit of puzzling. Population in 2011 census was at 4,284,000 or 285,000. In 2020 estimate, it went down to 4,058,000. Close to about a little over 250,000 population lost. The estimated GDP in 2020 is $118 billion approximate, with per capita share $29,207. Very impressive numbers. In context of this preview that we have, how could students foresee their future? And how could they excel to become locally and globally competitive? Today, we will discuss the system that will help every student be all they can be. With this, I hand the floor to Dr. Nabil Al-Qadi, the moderator, to start this conversation into the heights that we hope to be exciting to all of us and enlightening to all of us. Dr. Nabil, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abed, and it's a pleasure for me to travel with you today virtually to Croatia. And I would like to extend, of course, deep thanks to our host, RIT Croatia. With us today, Ms. Petra Borkovic, if I spell it correctly. She's the Career Service Alumni Relation and International Student Officer, of course, Dr. Abed Beidas and Mr. Gutam. And I would like to ask every participant from our panel member to just introduce himself in a 1 to 2 minutes when answering the first question. And if you allow me, Dr. Abed, I'll go to the heart of the topic, and I will start by Ms. Petra. As we are in Croatia, and from your perspective, considering the RIT position and considering your long experience with academia, can you elaborate on the gap in the higher education system today, and what area or what specific competencies graduates, especially in Croatia, may need to acquire differently, not necessarily through their higher education? Ms. Petra, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you.
Transferring the floor to you. Okay.
Thank you very much. So RIT Croatia is an American institution, and as such, we have acquired a lot of their values and imposed here into Croatian culture. So we are known for contemporary American programs, and we are career-oriented education. We, as an American university, also we promote diversity, curiosity, innovativeness among our students, and integrity. And we are an excellent choice for all young people who wish to study in an international and dynamic environment. The situation in Croatia, so I would describe it that definitely people, when they are enrolling and starting the college, they do not have enough experience, of course, and this is why they pursue particular programs. But they are challenged with financial stability or personal finances. Also, there is an increased competition in Croatia among a lot of young people. And students who are interested in finding out which types of careers are available to them after graduation, they have a lot of questions. And for example, our admissions department, when students are enrolling...
Petra, if I may interrupt, could you turn your video on if possible, please?
Sorry, here it is.
Oh, now it's okay, perfect.
Okay. So students, when they're enrolling to our institution, they have usually a lot of questions on, okay, when we graduate, what type of positions or what type of careers we can go to? What are other options we can do during our undergraduate studies? And then what we say to them, our institution is very dynamic, and we provide students with many different opportunities, from studying abroad in either our domestic RIT institution in Rochester in New York, or maybe at RIT Dubai. Also, our institution is career focused and oriented, thus we have career services office, and all our students have to undertake mandatory cooperative education course during their undergraduate studies in order to gain significant work skills, soft skills that are going to be needed for them after they graduate to ease that transition between academia and the working environment. When they graduate, some of the challenges that they face maybe currently is that in the last several years, more and more higher education institutions have also introduced mandatory cooperative education, so work that has to be done during college years, which means that the young people are getting more and more competitive on the work market. Also, I think the most important part is that they work on transferable skills. Skills that can be transferred from maybe one career to another career. And this is what we also point out to our students in advising processes or through this type of webinars and different activities. one of the negatives that we see on the work market lately is that a lot of companies, and I'm talking about big companies, so like telecommunications, banking industry, are posting job opportunities for students, so not opportunities for graduates, but for students. And in those, they are requesting students to have minimum of 1 or even 2 years of experience, which is very unusual, because as a student you can maybe gain a couple of months of experience during the academic year, but definitely it's hard to have a year or even 2 years of experience while a student in that industry in order to even apply for a job. Another challenge that some of our students and graduates are facing is seasonality, especially in the hospitality sector. So we hope that a lot of our students will thus be looking into entrepreneurship as an industry that will interest them in the future as well.
All right. Dr. Abad, can you transfer the floor?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. I try to summarize. We see some common, properties or some common challenge that we have been seeing in the UAE, in France, in North Africa, and other. Among these, having a lot of soft skills, to smooth the transition between academia to the corporate, the need of having, more and more, you called it corporative skills. So I guess this is through internship, apprenticeship, and other, which is more or less common. And we heard the same. But I was interested by two specific items you mentioned about the new kind of offers that the big companies are giving to the students and asking them to have already 1 or 2 years of corporate or of professional experience, which might be a little bit challenging or pushing the higher education arena to think differently. And also, you presented the problem of seasonality in some sectors, and you gave more or less the solution is to have the entrepreneurship, and to look to how I can be an entrepreneur myself, and maybe during those period of waiving and less demand in specific sector, I might have to run my own elements or my own business in a way or another. Dr. Abed, considering all of this, and referring to these analysis with some particularities maybe we are hearing today, how do you place the talent of Endearment program, and how can this bridge this gap? And I'm mainly interested to know how you're going to address it for the last 2 points that Petra brought to us, mainly, this lack of experience that is requested from day one, and this seasonality in some sector. Dr. Abed, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Nabil. Now the fun starts. In Talents of Endearment, what we designed basically is how we create leaders, heroes, and big achievers, basically, in order for them to thrive, in order for them to grow, in order for them to be accomplished, in order for them to be successful. How would this happen if it was not for starting of the dream? So now, instead of thinking that I have a dream, not sure whether it's going to happen, now we have a system that makes it happen if it's relevant and qualitative. And what we want to do is help you be all you can be, driven by your passion. But when somebody says to be all I can be and driven by my passion, what defines my passion? What really characterizes the thing that what I really need to accomplish in my life? So we have two things. Future plus career creates your identity. Now, when you think of your future, it is what it is that you want to be tomorrow, for who and the masses. And your career is the pathway how to make it happen. That will create your identity, what makes you special, what makes you unique, what makes you different, what makes you competitive at any scale that you wish to grow into, which basically becomes relevant to who's going to care the population of the people, the communities that you care about, and the purpose why they're going to be caring about you. This defines exactly the storytelling. And this is what we say in branding. Good brands makes people feel good about you. Great brands makes people feel great about themselves. What we help students in our programs and through the talents of endearment basically is how to really think to change people's lives, to impact people's ambitions. What do they really care for the most? What do they really care for in their life that will make difference? And help you put everything together in context of your future to create relevancy of a meaningful career. Because now when you're saying, well, unemployment is on the rise, there are challenges, the times are tough, things are changing. We don't believe in hit and miss kind of opportunities. We believe in a focused, planned opportunities. What we do is create relevancy. If you are irrelevant, or you could potentially be irrelevant tomorrow, you need to focus on how to change it. Okay, so this is where you really need to start when you're thinking about your career. If I could be replaced sometime tomorrow, what is it that I can do today to change it? That's a mindset and the attitude that every single one of us should follow, because we cannot be replaceable. We are human beings that's with brilliance and intelligence that we have been gifted with. But what we really need to do is drill it out. And this is what we do in Talents of Endearment, creating context for your future and make everything relevant. Your education. What am I studying for? And this is what's really unique. Your future, when you think of your future, you need to think how I can be a game changer. And this is what we are talking about in Talents of Endearment. How do I become a game changer in any level of life, anywhere in life? The picture is blurry, right? Because this is how it looks to everybody today. It's blurry future. It's not clear. It's fuzzy. What we really need to is fine-tune it to be fitting to the window screen of your own. That's what is relevant, not what everybody is telling you, but whatever you are convinced of, what you are believing in, because that is the moment when you start changing apart. But the future has to be relevant. It is not connected with you. It is connected, if it's relevant, it has to be connected with people's aspiration. The focus, basically, you have to be your customers, your people, not on the skills that you've developed or you're taught in college. When you are in engineering today, that's a skill. That's a professional skill, how to build a building. But what am I going to do it for? Why am I doing it? It has to have, and it has to meet some people's aspiration. Start thinking, how can I change people's life? How can I make things better for them? So they are not happy with my services, because remember, if somebody is happy with your service, rest assured, somebody could replace you tomorrow because you have competition. And the same if you are in a class, you know you've got 5, 10, 20, 30, 50 students who are your competitors tomorrow for the same job or for the same business opportunities that you might be having. It depends where you end up. So what you really need to do is start focusing on terms of how to be connected, how to have your future connected with your passion for people's aspiration. That's how you become competitive. That's how you become different, doing something others are not. Okay, so and this is what I see it, people's aspirations equals opportunities. That's how you're going to find it. It is not something that I can tell you, well, AI is our future opportunities. Says who? AI is a tool. That's teams of other people in the world, trillions, zillions of other peoples in the world are coming up, competing for the same thing that I'm thinking of, or other people recommending to me. What I really need to start focusing on is people's aspirations equals opportunities. And this is what we really need to focus to come up with. Now, once I have associated aspiration, now I have a passion. My passion is for people's aspiration, whatever it is. But what we do in Talents of Endearment is we help every participant, every student define it. It is not an open-ended statement. But we define it and find what is focused, relevant to your education. Align them the two together to make it happen. So it becomes your passion to help people lose weight, for example. Your passion to help building healthy environment. Your passion is to make others happy, helping orphans get educated, provide qualitative health care, help others get their plantations, their agriculturists, tourism, whatever it is. But you need to dig out close to your surroundings. That will help you to find the drive for your passion. That's what drives you. That's what makes it happen. Now you have a purpose. Your purpose basically is driven by your passion. What is it that you're going to do for others, to help people? Are you going to build a forest for people to plant their trees? Are you going to help build a forest for people to find food? Are you going to help forest for people to find refuge, to find housing, accommodating, to find happy times, leisure times? That becomes your purpose out of there. Now it is planned. It's clear. It is not something, well, the times are tough. I don't believe that. If you think that way, times will be tough. But if you think differently, for example, the money in the world didn't disappear. What is disappearing is what I call clear radar screen. We are looking at our future through the radar screens of others. What you really need to do now is to start looking at through your own radar screen that is relevant to you, not what is irrelevant to somebody else, because now you're going to be confused. I would be confused. I don't care what Dr. Nabil tells me that he sees the future in what. I need to see the future not in your eyes, like we said. It has to be through the eyes of the people that's around you, your targeted audience. Remember, that makes up your identity, who they are, who cares, and why they would care about you. Now, what is relevant? That's once I have that, then I can start thinking relevant opportunities. Relevant opportunities basically is creating situations where I could be possible to do something. And this is what I mean. We have two types of opportunities that I can say: direct opportunities and indirect opportunities. Direct opportunities, I have an example: Standard Chartered Bank. We know Standard Chartered banks. If somebody doesn't know, please write and explain it. Standard Chartered is one of the international banks. They are in banking. And before I go on, guys, if anybody has a question, please place it under the questions tabs. And so we are able to find it easier than going through the chats. And we'll be more than happy to answer it to you. So Standard Chartered Bank is a bank. They provide funding. Decades ago, they went into villages, helping to bring electricity to those villages. That's indirect opportunity. But what does it mean? They are a bank. What do they got to do with electricity? Well, before they brought electricity to that village, people were closing business at 5 o'clock in the evening when the sun starts setting. They went home, relaxed, and went to sleep. So they brought electricity to the village, helping everybody cheer. Now we've got electricity. Now we can have appliances. Now we can keep our businesses open until midnight or 24 hours a day. What did that mean? More deposits in the bank out of that community. So they actually created an indirect opportunities for people to become more productive. That's the mindset that you really need to start focusing, basically. Direct is what you're studying for. Indirect, what I can do to help people, that flow of people coming back to me. And this is what we really need to talk about. Creating opportunities. Here's one. Think about what is it that I hate the most and I would like to change. Okay, that's an immediate one opportunity. Guess what? There is something greater than just thinking of what you hate the most to change. It is what everybody else hates and wants to change. Now you have a multiplier of opportunities. that you are be able to be driven by, and now you can leisurely sit back and choose comfortably what it is that you want to do, which one that you want to pick that is more aligned with your career. Charter Standard, they picked up electricity to increase people's productivity for more money deposited, creating social impact that has an impact on your business. That's a mindset that we help students participating to start thinking to align with their future. Now they have something to be achieved. But achievement isn't relevant for what I'm achieving for myself. Remember, it's all about them. It is about what you are able to achieve to your community, for them to grow, for you to prosper. That's a mindset change. So don't focus on how you're going to sell your services. Focus on helping others to grow, for them to want to use your services. That's the rationale and the logical steps that you really need to start reprogramming your mind, resetting yourself. And this is what we help every student to start reprogramming. Every time you want to hit refresh, we talk about, basically now I start seeing new opportunities. Hit refresh, go back to your community, find what else they hate. Now I have an abundance of opportunities, unstoppable. That's when you start becoming competitive. That's when you have that data, when you have all of that at your disposal, the whole world would like to be connected to you for whatever you have at your disposal. It's rational. That's the logic of it. That's what people are in business for. So then what you need to also, what we help students coming in is to define who to collaborate with. I don't care to have my best friend to help me because they are my best friend. Because good best friends are good for good times, but for some of the good times. But the good friends that you really need to start focusing in who is going to be my source of ideas, my fresh perspectives, to help me seeing things differently, to help me that I can trust them, to help me to do the right things, and for them to be transparent with me, not just to say things because not to hurt my feelings. I love the people who hurts my feelings, knowing that they have my best interest at heart. So that's what are the mindsets that we really need to change about. So that's because, and then we help students to form the lifelong relationship that is going to help them become that support. Now, what we need to start going back with this, we help students this is how we help students brand and personalize their career. That starts with people's aspirations, that would create the passion, the relevant passion. Remember, here I'm going to come back with you and bore you with the word relevant. Your passion now is relevant to people's aspirations. Now your purpose is relevant to your passion. What it is that you're going to do now to help others accomplish what they want. Your future becomes relevant to your purpose. And every opportunities now you are accomplishing, you're building, basically, is relevant to your future, your purpose, your passion, and people's aspiration. Everything you're achieving is relevant to people's aspirations. The collaboration, the team, the network that you are building up now will be also help you to develop or build what is relevant to help people fulfill their aspirations. And here's what else we do. You study your professional skills is about 20% of the possible success in your life. Talents of endearment is 80%. This is according to a study of Gallup's that came up a couple of years back. I'm not sure. I think it was in 2014. But what it says basically is 20% of your skills. This is what you study for. 80% of human skills, intelligent skills, emotional skills is what contributes to your actual what we miss. So what we do is we help you align the talents of endearment. We say the talents of endearment. This is the name of the program, but endearment as a word is how to get closer to people, how to make people feel comfortable with you, how to make people feel relaxed, to tell you their stories, to share with you their secrets, to want you to help them, to trust you that they want to be associated with you. Now you're building a community, and this is what we do in our program. Is we help every student, every participant build their own community and connect them with other communities. Now you have a magnificent multiplying of opportunities that now you're exposed to. You are able to tap into it and hit refresh button. Anytime that you think you're missing an opportunity, you will find a flow of those opportunities, right? It's flying into your face. It's unstoppable. And this is what makes you relevant. This is what makes you successful. Education is good, but it's not enough. What you're studying for is you really need to do how am I going to transform people's lives with what I've studied? And this is what we help every student accomplish. Now, I want to give you an example how we make it. And I like to call it, this is my watermelon farm model. Watermelon farm is what you studied in college. That's your professional skills. I'm using this as an example, and then take it and drop it and anything you're studying and replace it with anything that you're studying. But it's just how we program ourselves and how we program students. Watermelon farm is what you've studied for, the professional skills. Now remember, how am I going to make people? How am I going to change people's lives for the better? Okay, how am I going to be able to improve them and to change it? Now Now this is what brings me back to creating the watermelon farm purpose. Fulfill people's aspirations. Okay, this becomes your talents of endearment. This is the talents for you to get closer to people, for them to really want to be with you. They want to be connected with you. Remember that's what we've been talking about. Now I have my purpose basically is how to help people fulfill their aspirations. Well, there is an abundance of samples of aspirations, but let's pick a few and look at them. I want to help people find great jobs, not job. I want to help people find great jobs, lose weight, live healthy, find cure. For example, arthritis, back pains, have fun and be happy, learn world cultures. Okay, that's they bring the whole world to them to start thinking differently, to broaden up their horizon. So I'm looking at how could I, with my watermelon farm, transform my poor village to a famous village for me to become a hero. Now I want to be a hero. I don't want just be another person in village. I want to be the hero that the whole world looks up at me, for me, looks up at me for that advice that I can share with them. Now, great. Now, my watermelon could help cure and prevent arthritis and back pain symptoms. I can do that. I can create retreats. I can create journeys to that village in my watermelon farms with exercises, enjoy the food with on a daily basis with the watermelons. Now you want to lose weight? Great, my watermelon will help you lose weight. That population. Now I'm segmenting. Who cares? Remember what we said? Who cares? People wants to lose weight. Yes, I can get them to the farm, to the village. When they come to the farm, they're going to come to the village. They're going to spend village. They're going to spend my time in the village, enjoy it, and have fun. What else I can do? Great, looking healthy. I can create supplements. I can connect with other companies that wants to create that in that village. So I'm creating great job opportunities in the long run. What else I can do? I can make everybody happy. Families that comes to my farm, comes to the village, to have a great times with watermelons and the activities that I would create. I want to show them how to create a radical time, live it, enjoy it, be silly. That is, it's part of how you program your campaigns. That's how we help students to think crazy. Okay, I don't like the normal. I like crazy thinkers. I like people are radicals. Steve Jobs said, only the only people who thinks and they can change the crazy people that things that can change the world are the ones who does. He was crazy that went against the norms. Bill Gates is the same. So I want you to think radical, crazy ideas, how I can create fun. That's what attracts people to you. I can create a festive towns, competitions with watermelons, okay? Bringing people from all over the world, or from the community, from other neighboring communities, from the region. But this is something that now I can turn what I studied for, now what was plain, boring watermelon farm. I'm just gonna take it to the stores. Hopefully somebody would buy it. Now I'm driving the world excited to come for my watermelons. What else I can do? Create a museum for watermelons to bring culture from the history of watermelons from around the world. So people, education people, facilities that there would come to my town, to the museum, to my museum in that little village that nobody knew before. Now, because I'm unique, I'm giving them something. I want everybody to see a watermelon in a museum. It's a crazy idea, but it's ridiculous. As ridiculous as it is, it's attractive. This is what else. I want to have a restaurant, watermelon gourmet restaurant. Imagine if you have steaks, for example, with watermelon, where people will love cheeses with watermelon. So you are creating excitement. That's what we talk about endearment. And what we're talking about, I want to build a watermelon lodge where everything, my room, my hotels, the reception areas, looks and smells like a watermelon. You see, now I turn what is plain, not knowing what to do, into something that is dream, reality happening to change my future. And this is the excitement that we help every student to replicate, no matter what you're studying. Watermelon is just as an example, but think of it if it was in engineering, if it was in artificial intelligence, whatever you think about. We help students to become that. We help students to become all they can be in terms of the change that they can their life. That's how we help students become a game changer. That's how we help students to be it for their community, not just for themselves, for their community, because now they know they are equipped with what makes their career relevant, what makes their future relevant to everybody. Your career is relevant to you. Your future has to be relevant to everybody. And that's what we do to help every student do. We help you build your dream and frame your future, discover your passion, carve your talents, and personalize your career. You need to think you are different, and you can be different. Nobody's going to hand you that opportunity. What we do is help you create that for your own good and translated to the benefit and to the advantage of every single person, every single community that you care about. And we also help you design your ecosystem, how to really bring it all together, how you bring it all, you put it all together to function like a smooth, harmonious machine that clicks at every step and able to promote it. Because having knowledge is one thing, to make it work is another. We help you develop that knowledge and the machine that will help you make it work, manage it, and maintain it for the rest of your life. Because what we do is provide a lifetime online community support, because everybody tells us continuing education. Here we talk about continuing learning of every new opportunities that rises within that community. You are exposed to it. Now I'm exposed to real ground reality data that helps people to help me see in real time, what is the future around the world from every students that are participating. We did magnificent things in that perspective, and we hope that you've enjoyed that respect. So what we do, we help students learn how to give for them to grow. With that, I stop, Dr. Nabil.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abed. I'll get the floor, and summarize a little bit this and ask Mr. Gautam a question. And unfortunately, I am missing a lot because I will not be able to continue with you. So, Dr. Abed, you put a big focus on enjoying soft skills, seeing what you can bring, connecting people, making a change, in fact, and making a difference and having it in a sustainable way. And you consider that might be even much important or much higher as a factor of success than the education itself. You gave a percentage of 20 to 80%. And in that regard and in that perspective, I would like to hear from Mr. Gautam, from a market perspective and as a corporate representative, what are your expectations from the youth graduate outside the core competencies related to their specialization and to the programs they are, fulfilling or the degree they are getting? What other expectation do you have, and how much or how important is that for a corporate side during a hiring process, for example? With this, I hand you the floor, and once again, I was pleased to moderate this part of the discussion. Unfortunately, I'm obliged to stop here. So thank you very much again, and Mr. Gautam, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Nabil. Good luck.
Thank you, Dr. Nabil. We shall miss you for the rest of the event.
Thank you. All the best. Sorry.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here with you students, largely from RIT in Croatia. And I was just going through your website, and I see that you are offered courses in international business, in hospitality and tourism management, and some super specialities in IT, web, and mobile computing. So I thought I would take one of the disciplines that are prevalent at your school and take you through a kind of situation that comes to my mind. You see, when you study hospitality and tourism management, the objective is to be able to then take up employment, a job. And for a moment here, I'm saying a job and not entrepreneurship, but it would apply equally because you're going into a sector, whether as an employee or as a job creator, it makes no difference. But it would probably be hotels and resorts. It could be a cruise line. It could be an airline. It could certainly be an event organizing company. So within that, let's just assume for a moment that a recruiter comes to your campus and he's looking for a young person, a young lady, a young man to employ in the front office area of operations in his hotel or his resort. Now he's going to spend a little bit of time quizzing you about what he thinks you would have learned in through your curriculum, at the institute. And so you will answer him questions that he may ask on things like yield management and what you understand. You would talk to him about OTAs, online travel agencies, and their impact on the hotel industry and occupancy and room rate. You may talk to him about robotics and the coming of robotics into front office operations, anything that you know. You could talk to him about meet and greet officers and what their role is. And he'll probably say, after a certain point in time, this young lady knows her stuff. And if this is all that I need to know from her in order to be able to employ her, that's it. I'm going to close this interview and say, here, young lady, is your letter of appointment. And that's it. And we move forward from there. But that's not how it happens. The point is that when a recruiter comes to campus and he is looking at you as a front office executive, that's not the be all and end all of his thought process. What he's thinking of is that you will have a long career with his group, that you will grow one day from being a front office executive to being a front office manager. And a few years of that, and you will grow into the role of an executive assistant manager. And ultimately, you will become general manager of his hotel or resort. And then perhaps a group general manager for a region of 5, 8, 10 hotels. So he's looking at you as a human resource that is not bounded by the knowledge that you have at this point in time through your curricula. He's looking at someone who will spend a long time, a long career with his group. And so he says probably that the questions that the young lady has answered me in respect of yield management and OTAs and how to handle a complicated guest complaint, etc., that satisfies 30% of what I really want. 20%, 30%, 40%. But there is another 40, 50, 60%, which will determine how this person will fit into our organization. And having fitted into the organization, how that person is going to be able to grow within the organization, so that this one recruitment cost that I'm bearing coming to the RIT Croatia campus will actually suffice to give me at a certain point in time a regional general manager for my hotel group, overseeing 10 hotels, which is a good job to have. Now, to be able to make a judgment on that requires that he assess a few more skills that he would want to see, and those are not skills that are taught in the curriculum. So I'm trying to break those skills into perhaps 2 or 3 sets that come to my mind. Set number 1, I want to know, is this a person who gets along with people? And so in a sense, is this a person that would be able to operate comfortably and well as a team member in a team? Is this a person who's a leader, or is this person a follower? Does he or she need guidance all the time in order to be able to perform fabulously? Or is she the kind of person who is able to take initiative and actually innovate and start doing stuff on her own, which is going to be of benefit to our operation? Now, that's one stream of thought that the recruiter might have. The second stream of thought that the recruiter might have would center around basic skills that would be required on the job. And those are skills not again related to your curricula, but on how to manage a team meeting, how to make a presentation, what kind of etiquette standards do you represent, what kind of respect are you able to see that this person would grant to his superior, whether in terms of designation or age or anything that traditionally we, as we grow up in our families, whether in a UAE or in a Croatia or in India, know is important. And then there could be a third stream which says, fine, this person has been educated and infused with the skills that would be important to front office operations. But in addition to that, is this person intrinsically sales oriented? Is this person a little bit marketing oriented? These are all courses that you are taking. You may have taken a specialization in front office, but you have learned a bit of HR, you have learned a bit of finance, you have learned a bit of sales and marketing. And so he tries and makes a judgment on whether tomorrow I can take this person across disciplines. I take him, train him, make him perform or her perform in the front office area, and then I can confidently move him or her into the sales and marketing area, perhaps sales to begin with, and then grow into a marketing role. This person has the ability to permit himself or herself to become a well-rounded personality for the hotel industry, with the ability to imbibe and execute skills required in the front office area, which is operations, to be able to imbibe and execute the skills required in a sales role, in a marketing role, perhaps even a little bit of time in human resource, because recruitment is a hugely important part of industrial work. And it, to my mind, is going to become more and more so as we go on. So you have a situation where there is a whole set of skills that are not necessarily taught to you through your curricula, because the curricula is forced on the hard skills that you require in the job. Now, it's not just you. I'm sure you are thinking along these lines as well. Petra put it so nicely when she talked about what she feels the employer wants, what she feels sometimes needs to be inducted more into the student curricula. And I was reading the other day that Harvard Business School has also put some thought to this. Management education around the world is under pressure. People feel that maybe it's too expensive. Two, does the content that they're teaching need to change? Three, does the means that they're using to teach need to change? The how of it. And so I understand the Harvard Business School people sat down together and they came to a conclusion that there were three things that they needed to make sure was inculcated in every graduate, that student that graduated from Harvard Business School. And the first of these was self-awareness. Every graduate must go out with an understanding of who is she, who is he, what are their intrinsic traits based on their growing years, their young adult years, and then that may have been honed and perhaps shaped a little bit more while doing a college course. The second thing they found was what we spoke a little bit about a little while ago: basic presentation and management skills in the organization, time management, the necessity to always be on time as a mark of respect to the person that you are meeting with. And a third thing, which was, you could call it cultural intelligence, but to me, it's a lot more than that. And, I noticed that RIT Croatia was earlier, when it opened in 1997, called the American Institute of Technology and Management. And I recollect that I graduated from a technology institute as an engineer. And I then went on to do an MBA and graduated as an MBA. And I know that this is hugely relevant. The third thing that HBS found was that students must be imbued with a cultural intelligence, where cultural intelligence is defined in respect of the culture of the organization. Students have to be able to understand the politics that goes on in organizations. What are the hidden agendas? Who is related to who? Who is a favorite of whose? Now, these are things that we may not always feel comfortable talking about, because we like to say, or we like to think, that if you have merit, that's it. Merit will take you forward. But we know in reality, we see people in our own families, we see people in our own friend circles, and we know that the most meritorious need not always be the most successful. And so this makes a lot of sense to me. And when I add to that what other universities across the world, frankly, from China through India to South Africa, have determined, there are 5 workplace skills that are necessary for the worker of the future to have. The first of this is complex problem solving. A whole bunch of problems. And I'll give you an example again from the tourism and hospitality management course side. Let us say, Chandar, let us say for a moment that 2 incentive programs are offered by 2 different parties to my hotel. And the prices are different, but the number of rooms is the same. The number of packs is people coming, is the same. And I have to choose between the two. Now, the obvious way to look at it would be, whoever is giving me the higher price, I will go with that person. But that's really not the way you want to be thinking. Because life and the world in which we operate is a lot more complex than that. What if the one who's giving you a slightly lower price is also offering you down the road another 5 such big events, which will take your revenues for the year up hugely, vis-a-vis the other one who's offering you a higher rate, but it's only once that he's going to give you that business? Now, that's a very simplistic example, but there are many complex problems that you will face in your workplace. And it is a fact that workplace skills in the future must include complex problem solving. The second one that these universities have identified is creativity. You have to be creativity. You have to be creative. You have to be able to think out of the box. And I can't think of a better means to do that than Edward de Bono's lateral thinking platform. And there are books, and they're very simple, and they teach you the process of lateral thinking. A lot of the time we think that intelligence is you are born with it. It's not true, and it's been proven not to be true. And books or concepts or models such as the lateral thinking model help us change the way we think in a manner which is beneficial to us as individuals and beneficial to the society and the communities in which we operate, which includes our professional community. So the first of the workplace skills of the future is complex problem solving. The second is creativity. The third is critical thinking, which is again, in a sense, subsets of the other two, but independent in its own way. Critical thinking is important because you have to be able to look at the pros and cons of any decision that you are making and to be able to play in a world view, so to speak, and bring in a view which says, all of you know Murphy's Law. Murphy's Law states that if something can go wrong, it will. So you take an idea and you say, what can go wrong in the execution and the implementation of this idea? And you take all those factors into consideration, and the product that you come out with at the end of the day is far more robust because you've already taken into account everything that could go wrong with that idea, and you've tried to find solutions to those idea breaking points. The fourth is people management. People management is obviously very important, and we all understand that, particularly in a time where the workplace of tomorrow will not be one nationality. It will be 20 nationalities in one workplace. I live in a city called Dubai, which many of you have probably visited. And I'm told there are 160 nationalities that live together in this city. And that's out of what, 195 or 198 nations in the world that constitute the United Nations. That is, so it's huge, 160 nationalities. But the point is, the Peruvian thinks, dresses, eats, speaks very differently from the Indian, and the Indian from the French, and the French from the Chinese, and the Chinese from the Americans. And then when you look at a place like India, you have 30 states where each state dresses differently. The people of each state, they dress differently, they speak differently, they eat differently. It's like a country with many countries within it. And so as I grew up, where I worked with the Tatas in my initial years after college, after graduation, I used to have to deal with a Punjabi and a Gujarati and a Maharashtrian, and they all think in different manners. And we thought that we are all Indians and we are probably all the same. We are all very different. And that cultural intelligence is an important part of what you have to imbibe in order to be able to succeed in the workplace of the future. That's what I'd like to say at this point in time. And in Nabil's absence, Abid, I hand over to you.
Thank you, Gautam, for the opportunity in the presentation. In Nabil's action, I would like to ask Petra her views. How do you see these discussions and the presentations of the approach that we follow on tenets of endearment could actually help students and impact their career and help them overcome a lot of the challenges that you've mentioned earlier in this conversation of this webinar? I'll transfer the floor to you. Just give me 1 second. Petra, the floor is yours.
Okay, so I'm back.
Thank you.
Well, so far what we heard, I think it was very useful, very beneficial for students, with some specific thoughts, specific set of skills that are necessary. And I'm very glad that all of you have talked about it, because in our survey that we did with students, more than 72% of our students feels that it's important to receive some sort of assistance and help and guidance regarding their career advising or assessing interests, helping them relating to the right career choices. So this webinar is definitely what students are asking from us to assist them with. Also, this webinar is important in terms of networking and also in meeting new cultures and people worldwide. And this is what more than 80% of our students, they find important to receive, again, assistance and help in connecting to the people and companies worldwide. So I would really be happy to continue this cooperation, and you can give some other advice to our students.
Thank you, Petra. I'll take the floor back. We appreciate the opportunity. Actually, we started a series of webinars. We've got one that is coming up on the 1st of December, next week, on the future of energy, for example, and career opportunities. So we start putting things in perspective. We have another one that's coming up in communication, and we'll be more than happy to share that information with you and your students to join us again. And what I would like to do is also we have a project that we would like to work with together with your college and the students who participated in today's webinar and who did not. We have a platform that we designed. We've created a special community group for RIT Croatia. And that would invite students, the some that we have their information through this who signed with us today, and the ones that you could provide us later, to join in so we can start landing things on the grounds. Talk is good, but we would like to walk the talk with everybody in real time on ground reality. So we bring things in closer perspective to participate and share that idea of where we are going next with this. So after we'll share with you the emails, Petra, after this. And what I'm going to do is share a few slides afterwards, and then I will come back to you for a closing remark. But before I do, I have a couple of polls that I would like to ask you, everybody, to participate with. Now, this is the first one. How do you feel about your future, positive or negative? Please do all participate. Don't worry, the results are discreet. Nobody's going to know. So far, 89%. Gentlemen, please do not touch any of those polls, please. Gotham, Petra, I appreciate it. 89% positive, 11% negative. Okay, now the other question that I would like to ask, what kind of future would you like to have? Please write up. Just in one sentence. Okay, please do all share. Okay, there is a couple of, let's stop here for a minute and come back with videos. This is a promo for our Talents of Endearment program. I hope you all can see it and hear it. I hope you all were able to hear it and watch it. I want to share with you an experience that we had with a few of our students that from the past at various experiences, and this is what we put together for you. I hope you can hear it and see it.
This workshop was different from any other workshop I have attended before. It was crazy in a fun way, innovative, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
Students have had an incredible experience. I learned a lot about attitude, about behavior. Definitely about the values are the most important community. And I've learned to direct my thinking into a way that is beneficial to all.
The workshop was very insightful and has motivated me to look at things at a different perspective and start my own initiative.
It was an amazing experience, an eye-opening one for me for sure. I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about branding and how to be unique in the marketing world. And every day I learned something new. Like it's a topic that I was never interested in, but now it has piqued my interest, and I'm so motivated to come up with a brand in the future.
Sessions and projects as we was quite much. It was very interactive. The overall experience was quite good.
Had an amazing, fun journey with this workshop and such an inspirational and unique life experience that I'll never forget. I've learned a lot about life, branding, and most importantly, how to engage with people and win their hearts, and how important is it for my personal and career life.
Backgrounds with a little bit of collaboration and brainstorming, you can get so many brilliant ideas.
My gratefulness for Dr. Abed and his board of trustees for the fact that they believed in our growth abilities and worked on refining them and guiding us. For the fact that they engraved their wisdoms in our hearts before our brains, defining the real meaning of endearment. I was nowhere near understanding the science of branding and understanding the power of endearment, and they changed that in the course of 4 days. I would like to express my gratitude to everyone who participated in this workshop, which was a source of inspiration to all of us. And I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Abed because he has contributed to enhancing our self-confidence and sharpening our interactive and innovative skills. This workshop was a real great opportunity to everyone. It's such a great, memorable experience that no one could ever forget. I'm really thankful to attend this workshop, and thank you is just never enough. Thank you.
So this is part of the achievements that we help students make. And on the 14th of January through the 15th of February, we're starting a 33 days virtual journey to jumpstart your career and enjoy your dreams. And what I would like to do is on the handout session, you will find a link, okay? And click on that link. It will take you to the information who are the trainers. That's for to register for it. And also on the 12th of December, we have a town hall meeting for people that would like to have any questions that like to be answered relevant to that webinar that's going to start in January for 33 days journey. And it's actually a lifetime. Because why we are saying it's a lifetime? Because it's a subscription. You pay it once. It's originally $300 that we charge for it. It's an introductory offer $150. And plus there is a 10% discount for registering by December 15th. And for RIT Croatia and the students who participated today with us, they will get another 20% additional to that if they're registering within the next 14 days from this webinar. You also get a lifetime support, a lifetime learning, continuing learning experience that you cannot match it. We are doing this for this low cost. Actually, it's supplemented in order to make sure that we help every student live their dreams, enjoy their dreams, because they deserve to have that opportunity. With that, in the handouts also, you can see another story document. If you can, as you say, you fill up in the blanks. This is for your own story write-up. Prepare it to look in front of you what it is like your future is going to be. How is that story is going to be different from this day and on. What I would like to do is give the floor to Petra for a closing remark, and then I will come back after Gautam for the final closing remark. Petra, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Bairas, for the great webinar you held for our students and some other participants. I really hope that everybody enjoyed, and we do hope to cooperate in the future. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. 1 second. Gautam?
Well, thank you. Thank you all at RIT Croatia, Petra, for helping us with this, with the setup of this whole webinar. It's always a pleasure to speak to a student body, and we do hope that we'll be able to interact with you more through the career labs that we have set up. We look forward to have you join us. Thank you.
With that, I will take the final remark. But I'd like to close the discussions here. I hope personally that we were able to trigger the curiosity, trigger the wild animal that has been hiding inside of you, and let it out. Okay, and that's the purpose of it. If we succeeded to do that, then I hope that we will be able to help you in the future how to really tame it to serve your career. The one advice that I'd like to share: stop looking at what others are doing and try to do what they are doing. Don't be a copy machine. There are too many of them out there. Remember, if you put all your energy into grades and diplomas, you're almost certainly not focusing enough on what really matters. Skills and the ability to continue updating them throughout your career is really what matters. Yes, degrees are very nice, but that expensive piece of paper isn't to be all and end all. The real prize in life isn't the letters after your name. It is the ability to accomplish amazing things. School isn't required for that. Passion is. It is your mindset. Whatever answers you may have now will impact your career for the rest of your life. With that, I conclude and ask everyone to share a couple of more polls, please. After this webinar, I would like you to rate yourself. Everybody, please participate. Okay, 38% 5-star, 50% 4-star, 13% 3 stars. Not bad, I think. And what I'd like you to do, please rate the session. Four and a half, 50% 5, 50% 4. Thank you. I would like you to rate the importance of this subject to you. Wonderful. 88% 5, 13% 4. And last, I would like you to rate the speakers who worked very hard to bring you this. Okay, very good. Now, any other questions that any of you may have, so we can answer them. Otherwise, we'll wish you a very good evening and depart for the evening until we see you next. Any questions? I guess not. With that, Petra, Gutam, unless you have any other comments, thank you. I really appreciate your efforts and everything that you have done to help bring this to our fine students and participants. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you so much, and God bless.
Thank you as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.